And joining us now, Washington Congressman Adam Smith, top Democrat on the House Armed Services Committee. Congressman Smith, so the Yemen operation discussed is over, but does that mean the information disclosed is not relevant or possibly actionable by a bad actor who could obtain it?
Well, look, this is very problematic. What it means is they have an insight into a weakness, certainly going on the Signal app, but also just the incredible breach of security here. And I completely agree with Senator Kelly and all of his analysis about why this is problematic, and just say, well, it's not classified. Well, the president and the Secretary of Defense have an enormous amount of power of deciding what is classified. The question of whether or not it's classified isn't really the important one. The question is this sensitive information that is dangerous to be sharing over open channels prior to an operation? And the answer to that question, as Mark just explained quite well, is yes, 100%. And also we should ask the question, if the Secretary of Defense and the President of the United States think that advanced targeting information that, as Mark explained, tells you where our pilots are going to be and when they're going to be there ahead of the operation, if they think that information isn't classified, then they are way crazy incompetent to do the job that they're supposed to be doing. And that, to my mind, is the real issue. And I'm not going to rehash everything Mark said, because I think he summed it up pretty well. The issue is Secretary Hegseth, is this whole team competent to be in charge of our national security operation? If they do something like this on a Signal app, sharing this information, and then act like it's not really a big deal, everybody will tell you, Republican, Democrat, anyone involved in this, it is a big damn deal that they ought to care about.
You know, House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries wrote a letter to President Trump calling for Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth to be fired over using the group chat to discuss war plans. And I'm quoting here, his behavior shocks the conscience, risked American lives, and likely violated the law. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth should be fired immediately. So, Congressman Smith, should Hegseth and other officials in the group chat be fired?
Well, I'm getting to that point because they are not responding to the inquiries. They are not explaining themselves, and they're not reassuring us about what they're going to do going forward. And look, there have been instances, I discussed this earlier, Secretary Austin got in trouble because he didn't report his illness and that he was out of pocket for a while while he was being treated for cancer. But he came clean on that, explained it, and he came before the House Armed Services Committee and testified. He gave us the oversight that we need. If Secretary Hegseth is saying, screw you, I'm not going to answer any of your questions, but I'm not going to pay any attention to this, if he's blocking Congress's ability to do our job on oversight, and if he's making it clear that he doesn't think this is a big deal, then yeah, I think we get into concerning territory. And one other thing that occurred to me on this that hasn't been mentioned before, absent from this phone call, so Stephen Miller is on the call. And why is Stephen Miller concerned about strikes in Yemen? There wasn't a single uniformed officer on this call, which points up even greater incompetence here. So they fired the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, C.Q. Brown, an eminently qualified human being, by the way, fired him, haven't replaced him yet. On situations like this, the uniformed military personnel are the ones that have the most experience about how to carry out these operations, how to carry out them safely. What the hell is Stephen Miller doing on this call? Okay, you don't have a chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff because you stupidly fired the one that you did have, but maybe the vice chair? Maybe, the CENTCOM commander, somebody who has some operational intelligence here, should have been part of this discussion a hell of a lot sooner. Forget Stephen Miller, certainly a hell of a lot sooner than Jeffrey Goldberg should have been part of this conversation.
Congressman Adam Smith, thank you for coming to The Last Word.
Thanks for giving me a chance.
And coming up, as we were just discussing, will the full group chat be disclosed either by the administration